good evening, everybody, and welcome to another insightful session in our Power BI course. This course is an incredible one. I'm so excited how it is progressing, and I'm so excited how you are progressing in it. I'm very happy how you are getting it and how you are practicing and getting hands-on. I'm very, very excited about it. And very soon you are going to take your certification exam, and I'll be very, very happy to see you certified by Microsoft that you have learned Power BI, you are a certified Power BI user, and you can use Power BI in the real world. So, good evening to you all. Let me see some of the names. Robley, as usual, Newman, Darlington, Okoka, Cletus, Tariro, Lucretia, great to see you, Lucretia. Timothy, thank you so much for the hard work. Newman, Kuleko, Paul, Shibuke, Kirobel, Joanne, great to see you, Joanne. And welcome everybody to this session. This is lesson 3. And in this course, we are actually covering Power BI into details. We are learning all that we should know as professionals, and we are learning this practically. By the end of this course, you should have the skills to be able to work in the real world as a Power BI specialist. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. This is very, very important, and this is an important quote that should be your motto. A quitter never wins, because if you quit, you have no chance of knowing whether you will win, and you'll never win. So one thing is sure, that the moment you quit, you never win. But if you don't quit, there is a chance that you could win. So don't quit. And a winner never quits. So those who don't quit, they will win. And those who quit, they will not even know whether they could win or they couldn't. So let's not quit. We've been learning month after month after month after month. Let's keep on learning till we get to the level we need to get to lead Africa in technology. This is myself, and I welcome you to our Power BI certified Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst Associate certification. This is a certification you want to add to your portfolio, and work hard on it. Make sure you get it. It will add a lot of value to you. It will open a lot of doors, and it will help you get closer to your dreams. And this is a structure we are using in this particular course. We are almost halfway through. And number 1 is very important to me. Number 1 says self-study on the Microsoft certification exam prep platform. And I believe you are taking the time to visit the platform and to read about Power BI. If you are not doing that, please click on the link right here on this Power BI Microsoft certified. The link is right there, or search for the PL 300 certification on Microsoft, and you will be able to take the self-study. It is very, very important. Please take the self-study. It teaches a whole lot, so that by the time we end this course, you will have all that you need, both theoretically and practically, and you will be ready. I want us to seize this moment to master Power BI, and it will create a foundation for so many other courses and lessons and skills that we have to acquire as data professionals. So today we are going through a live session of data loading. We want to spend some time with data loading, get some more practical experience with data loading, and as well as data transformation. So this is what today's lesson is about. We are done with the first. If you are not done, please make sure you are on it. And before we are done with this course, make sure you finish with the first on the list. Then we have gotten a practical intro to Power BI. It was wonderful. We've done our live demo. We've done our guided hands-on live demo. And we've done our presentations. It was so wonderful. The presentation was so enlightening. and we've published it. The link is there. If you have not watched it, please go through the presentations because you will learn a lot from it as well. Yes, so don't skip the presentation. Please go through it and watch what others did. And if you have not presented, you will get another chance to present. So always be ready when the time comes, then you make sure you do your presentation. All right, so today's lesson is data loading and data transformation. And I like one quote that we had some time ago. It says, don't count the days, but make the days count. Make every day count. So today counts. Today is a special day. Today we are about to add to our skills, add to our knowledge, and what we will learn today will move us forward to a whole new level. All right, so let's get into data loading and data transformation. And in this lesson, we will extract data, we will clean, we will shape data like real-world data analysts preparing for insightful visualizations. At the end of the day, we will have insightful visualizations. And by the end of this lesson, you will confidently connect to multiple real-world data sources. Yes, I want us to have some experience connecting to multiple data sources. And so when we begin, we will connect to Excel workbooks, we will connect to CSV, we will even connect to MySQL today and have that kind of practical experience. And then we will clean and transform a very, very messy data in Power Query. The class will take us through a lot of them. And when we are done, you'll be asked to continue and make sure the data is ready for the visualization. And we have some real world cases of Power BI. And this is to tell you that a lot of businesses use Power BI. What we saw in our live demo revealed a lot to us. And we have to understand that businesses need that. Businesses depend on that. And if this can be done for a business, they will really appreciate it. And a lot of top businesses rely on it. So Power BI is used to solve real business problems across many industries by helping companies make faster, smarter, data-driven decisions. This is so amazing. Seeing your whole company on a dashboard or a Power BI report and getting all your KPIs on the go for your business, I think this is really, really good. And it helps business make faster and smarter data-driven decisions. And like we've always been saying, businesses don't make decisions based upon assumptions, based upon feelings. They make decisions based upon data. And Power BI presents a wonderful environment for businesses to be able to make decisions based upon data. Now, one of the areas where Power BI is used is in retail, sales, to get sales information, to get sales performance. And our first project was a little bit of retail for us to see how you can monitor sales performance in the retail industry. Power BI is also widely used in healthcare, and I want us to have that experience working with healthcare reports and healthcare data sets, as well as in finance and in banking. We want to get some experience with finance. And so by the end of this particular course, we want to do our best to touch on these industries and have a feel of how Power BI is used in healthcare, in finance, in education. Wow, in education, for us to visualize student performance, student attendance records, and a whole lot. And this is going to make a lot of difference. And as well, we have logistics. So we will do our best to touch on these areas, but then these are the real world scenarios where Power BI or real world cases where Power BI is used. And this, having experience in this will help you serve all industries really, really well. We saw how Power BI has an ecosystem where you connect to multiple applications because multiple applications can connect to Power BI. Okay, we have QuickBooks, we have Salesforce, we have Google Analytics, they can all connect to Power BI. And so as you advance in Power BI, you will learn to connect to other applications. Most of them will connect to give you data, and you can move the data from there into your Power BI to continue with the pipeline of creating your visualization with data right from source. And we saw how Power BI has a desktop and Power BI service. We have the Power BI gateway, and we have the mobile Power BI for you to visualize your reports and your dashboards as well. We saw the difference between reports and dashboards in our previous lesson, and we saw that in Power BI desktop, we actually create reports and we can actually create dashboards in the Power BI service. And by the end of this course, we will experience all of that. We saw the wonderful workflow. And as professionals, when you start working with Power BI, you don't just jump into building the visualizations. You have to start from data and, most importantly, do your transformation. And that is what we are going to pay attention to today. We want to understand multiple data sources, and then we want to understand more about data transformation. So this is a deep dive into these first two steps in the workflow. And in our next lesson, we will move on to other areas and master Power BI really well. Yeah, so real world businesses use data from multiple sources, like in customer relationship management systems, CRMs, Excel exports, online APIs, SQL servers, and web apps. So on the field, the data can come from everywhere. And so as a data analyst, data scientist, you need to have that experience to be able to connect with the data source. In some environments, they have serious CRMs that is so busy that is being updated in real time, and you have to generate your data, your reports, and your dashboards from that. How do you connect to that? We have very, very busy Excel data that is used in the real world. You know, in the classroom, things are so calm, but in the real world, things are busy and messy, and you have to create a solution. And so the best thing you can do is to have some experience working with multiple data sources so that you know how to quickly jump into getting results. And today we will connect to a number of data sources. And as we proceed, we will keep connecting to multiple data sources. Analysts must know how to connect and clean data from varied environments. This is so important. And some of the top data sources to master as beginners, we have what we call CSV, and CSV files are very common. They are the most common export format from systems. So most of the time when systems are exporting data, they export as CSVs. And so it's very important to be very familiar with CSV. And I'm sure we are very, very used to CSV. We've been using CSV in Python. We've been using it elsewhere, and we are used to that. And this is actually used in nearly every industry. We have Excel files widely used in businesses. And so you need to be familiar working with Excel. Frequent source for transactional data. So Excel is also very popular. Then we have web URLs. You can pull data from online tables, and you can pull data from web API sources. And this is common in news, in finance, in research. And this is very, very common as well. Then we have raw CSV from GitHub, open data sets, version control, industry projects and collaborations. You can work with data sources from GitHub, and I'm happy we had an experience working with GitHub and we saw the wonderful imports from GitHub. Then sometimes you just have to connect to a folder that contains multiple files for automation and for batch loading. And what happens is that if you connect to a folder, it means any data that is dropped into that folder can be automatically loaded into your Power BI because you are connecting to a folder, and that is really important to know, and it helps with automation and batch loading. It's using the real world for monthly, weekly reports, and it's very, very amazing. So let's start with data loading from key sources, and we will start from one particular source. And when we are done talking about it, exploring it, we'll move to another source. The first source, we have already tried it, and we just want to do a recap of it. And it says to load CSV from GitHub. And that's exactly what we did in our previous lesson. So we have a data set on GitHub, and the data set is titled Power BI Retail Sales Data. This is what we used the last time. And so we are all familiar with connecting to this. And for those who are not familiar with that, let me quickly go through that so that we connect to it right away. And then we'll move on. It's something that we can just do in a second. So let me reshare my screen and we will do that quickly. All right. So this is Rita Africa GitHub. You can type github.com/RitaAfrica. You'll be brought here. You'll see Power BI data sets. Just click on it and you will see Power BI retail sales data. This is what we are talking about. Later in today's lesson, we will look at healthcare patient data. But right now, we are talking about the retail data. You click on it and you can load this particular data into your Power BI. And if you look at it, you can see that there are a lot of rows and we have 500 rows. And after our data cleaning, we had about 488, and that is what showed us our orders for on our reports. So this is the data, and to work with it, you need to click on the raw format so that you have it as raw. Then you copy this URL, and then you get into your Power BI. I have Power BI here. Once you launch Power BI, you can quickly connect to this particular data. And this is wonderful. It's good to know this. It's good to know this. When you get to the workplace and you can connect to data on GitHub, is so wonderful. Yes, so over here, we can just start with a blank report and we can just go ahead and click on Get Data. You can click on Web or you can click on More. Let's click on More. They all lead to the same place. Then click on Other, and then you can click on Web over here. So connect to Web, and right from here, you can paste your URL. If you copy the URL well, it should work. If you didn't copy it well, then it's not going to work. So this is what we have here. The data has been pulled, and you can just load it into your Power BI. So today's lesson will be about data connecting to sources and also transforming the data. So before we get to transforming the data, I'm just testing some multiple sources. So with this particular data set, I didn't do any transformation because we will get to transformation. And before we do, let's just see how the multiple sources are working. And anytime you want to transform, of course, we all remember to click on this transform data, and we will go back to Power Query and do our transformation. So let me close this and we'll move on to another data source. So the next data source is to load Excel files that are stored locally. All right, load Excel files that are stored locally. And I'm going to load an Excel file, and I want you to try loading the Excel file. And so let me load it first, and I'll share with you to also try it. So to load the Excel file, I've made the lesson a guided one so that you can follow it step by step and load it. So I have my data source. Let me check it. Let me open to my data source again. And all right, I have it right here, already opened. All right, so we have multiple files here, and I am seeing this one here. It says Power BI Excel performance, and this is an Excel file. You can see the file extension .xlsx. And so let me check my slide again. So in Power BI, you can just load Excel data. To load Excel data is very simple. Same process, home, get data, and you can click on Excel. Home, get data, you can click on Excel. And with this, you can easily load your Excel. So let me go back to Power BI and actually close this. Don't save. Let me load it again. And then once it opens, I'll just go to home. I'll just go to home. Let me just start with this so that we follow the right format. So we have Excel workbook right here. You can click on Excel workbook. We can go to get data and Excel workbook. So let me connect to this. I mean, this is very simple. Everyone should understand this. And this is the Excel file we are looking for. So once you open it, you should be able to have it loaded, and it's straightforward and as simple as this. So we have this navigator showing here, and if you follow the tutorial, it tells you that the navigator will open, and you need to select the relevant sheet, and you click on transform data to open Power Query. So this is the sheet 1, and we see the data right here in sheet 1. So once you open to data in Excel, the sheets will open, and you can select the ones you want to work with. So you can load, you can transform. Let me click on transform, and we have the data here in Power BI. Let me share this with you, and I want you to import this one right here. All right, so over here, I have logged into my GitHub. Let me upload it here, and I want you to find it on the GitHub. So once you get onto the GitHub, you will find it. So I'm going to load this Excel. It's called Power BI Employee Performance. So let me just load it, and I will just commit the changes. And I want you to go to GitHub/RateAfrica, github.com/RateAfrica, go to Power BI datasets and download this. So you will see the Excel file, click on it and just download it. So let me see those who will be able to download it right now, and we will be able to move forward. So import it, and I think I want to see you import it. So please import it and post it in the chat, and let's progress this way. We have a lot of wonderful things coming up, so let's follow and make sure we understand everything. You'll be working with a lot of Excel sheets and a lot of Excel data, so you need to get this done. So let me just see a screenshot of this. Anyone who has downloaded it, I'll be happy to know that you have. And I want you to import it. Make sure you have it in Power Query and send me a screenshot. So this is important. And today we are going to cover some important transformations that we didn't do in our live demo, and we have a lot more transformations to do. And as we move on, every project will have a series of transformations that come with it. All right, so I'm checking my chat to see who has been able to post this. And the first person, let me see who that is. Load the Excel file, select the sheet 1. And in Excel, we have multiple sheets. And so if the data is on sheet 1, you can load it. If the data is not on sheet 1, you can select the sheet and you can select multiple sheets to load. Thank you, Robly. Robly is always fast. Thank you, Robly. That's wonderful. And it's exactly the same data. Robly has done it. Thank you so much. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. And there's a tip here, and it says that always inspect for issues like hidden headers, merged cells, or blank columns when working with Excel files. So when you are working with Excel files, inspect for hidden headers, merged cells, and blank columns. All right, so make sure you inspect this before you get into your data. And as we practice, we will be dealing with this in the course. All right, so let's move on. And let me see the next person. Luis was able to do it. Okay, that's wonderful. Let me see the next person again. And Lucretia, John, thank you all. Wonderful. So I'm so happy when you follow like this, and it helps us to really understand very well. All right, so we have what is called loading data from a folder. So loading data from a folder, with this, we will select the data from a folder. So we have a scenario here that says that the finance team sends monthly CSV report like salesjanuary.csv, salesfebruary.csv, etc., and stores them in a folder. So we have a folder called monthly sales, and this particular folder contains the data. So in your company, the finance team always loads the data into that folder. And this is a great opportunity for you to load the entire folder so that every data set in the folder will be automatically loaded into Power BI. And so I have such a folder here. I'm going to share that with you as well. And so let me see where my folder is. It's called monthly sales. I'm going to share this with you as well. And you can see that we have January, February, March, and April. Let's go through the process and I'll share it with you for you to try it. So let me just close this. We are just testing multiple sources, and very soon we will test MySQL. Those of you who are done with your website projects, you already know MySQL, and you see how Power BI can also work with it. All right, so let me open to Power BI now, and let's follow this. So go to get data, and this time you select folder. This time you select folder. So instead of Excel, instead of web, you select folder. All right, so let's go to Power BI now. Okay, and let's go back to blank reports and get data. Over here, I don't see folder. So I can click on this icon, or I can click on more. It's the same thing. So over here, you can see folder right here. So I don't know about you, but I see folder right here. All right, so this is fine. let me, it says import metadata and links about files in a folder. So let's click on folder and connect. And we have to find the folder path. So I'll click on browse and I'll quickly find the folder path and I will share with you as well. All right, so you go through a lot of folder hierarchies, you load and load and load, and you have it right here. I have mine right here. So monthly sales, I click OK. And then it loads here, I click OK. And now we have access to multiple files. So over here, you can see that we have sales April, sales February, sales January, sales March, extension, CSV, content binary, and it is loading all the files. So over here, this is not revealing the data sets or the content, it is revealing the files. So they all have, yeah, folder path, and we have 4 files here. So now these 4 files, there's a way to treat them when you get it this way. So over here, you are going to see a list of all the files, and it can contain CSV, it can contain Excel, and they can all be found in the folder. So you click combine, combine and transform, and Power BI uses a sample file to define the structure, and you apply all the necessary transformations in Power Query. So over here, what this is saying is that you can go ahead and transform your data, but you can combine and transform over here since there are multiple files. So let's just try combine and transform, and let's see what will happen. So we combine and transform, we can see the first file here, sample file. To show us the structure, and we can get into the April file. We can get into February and get into all of them like that. So all the files are there. So we get an idea of how the file looks like. Then we click OK. And the beautiful part is that after loading in Power Query, after loading, you get to see your monthly sales here. And at the right side here, you see some steps already applied. So once we get into the Excel transformations, we will get into the details of this as well. So over here, you can see that the data is showing the source. And so with this, we combine all of them into one. So we can see April records here. We can see, if you scroll down, you can see February, and you can see for all the months. And so with this, you have brought all of them into a single data sheet, and you are working on them together. If you want single files, you can also select single files and import them. And you can also import the entire data from the folder. The beautiful part of this is that when there are new files, all you have to do is to drop them into the folder and click on refresh, and Power BI will automatically load it into your data set. And this is ideal for automating monthly or weekly reporting. So with this, if your transformation is done right, you can load data from every month as and when the data comes in. So once it is loading from source, this one is loading from source. all you have to do is to refresh the data, and it will load new months and new data into your report. And this can automatically generate reports for new months and can automatically add data from new months into your report. All right. So over here, you can just refresh and it will always refresh and load this. So this one here, I think it is very, very interesting. You have access to the data. You can do all the transformation you want, and we'll get to that. And you can have access to the data in anyhow you want it. And this is really, really good. Yes, this is really, really good. All right. So let me share this with you, and I want you to try this, and I want to see this in Power Query. So let me share this with you as well. And I want you to try this. So I'm going to upload the zip file, and I want you to try your hands on it and let me see it. Okay, so I just uploaded it to the GitHub. Please download it and connect to it and let me see what you have done. So just do it the same way how we are doing it now. Do it exactly the same way and make sure you have it this way. Yeah, there's a reason for that. So just upload it this way and make sure you have all your files combined this way. So please do that and post it in the chat. Let me see the first person to be able to do that. So go back to GitHub and make sure you download it. Okay, so just load and combine. Let's see what you get. Once you do it, please post it in the chat and let me see. All right, so let me see the first person who has done this. So all of these queries, we will be going through them later. All right, so let me see the first person to post and we will continue. So the file is uploaded. Okay. Lois Ominde, let me see what you've done. This is fine. So this is good. And after the transformations, once you drop new files into the folder, you can just refresh and it will load the data automatically. So this is very, very good. This is very, very good. This is one that you will use one day. You'll use one day. You'll use one day. So it's really, really interesting. So let me see some more. Let me see some more. Yes, please extract the zip. Please do that. Let me see some more. Let's go through this. It's very important to get all of these experiences. Very, very important. So let me see. Yeah, take your time and make sure you have it. Make sure you have it. This is one you'll be using in the field, and you need to have this. It's very, very important, especially for automating your report. And this is all right. Thank you all, Cletus and Darlington Okoka. All right, so that's fine. Let me see if Robley has posted. Okay, so Richard, great to see you. Robley has posted. Okay, Richard, thank you. You guys are amazing. So we have a lot to cover. We have a lot of interesting things to cover. So let's just follow this and let's build the experience. Imagine you have a report that needs to be updated every month. And once the data is properly cleaned, you can just drop new data sets and automatically it loads. All you have to do is to click on refresh here or click on refresh in the Power BI desktop and you have your data right here. So I want someone to try something. And if it works, let me know if it works. So I want to find out how many files do we have in the folder, the monthly sales folder. How many files do we have in there? So let me know in the chat, how many files do we have? All right, so someone says we have, how many files do we have in the folder? Okay, thank you. All right, I want you to duplicate one of them and rename it as sales may, salesmay.csv, salesmay.csv, salesmay.csv. Just replicate one of the files, okay? And then come in here and click on refresh. Click on refresh or come into the desktop and click on refresh and go back to transform and check if you have the May data added. And you can see how after building the report, May can just come and join the report and see how important that is. So if you're able to do it, let me know. If you're able to do it, let me know. I'll be happy to know. If you are able to add May to your report, I want to know. Just tell me that you've done it. If you can show me, I'll be happy to see May. You can go to the May part and show me. You can scroll to the mail part and show me, or let me just know. You can type done. So just create a new file. After loading, just create a new file and refresh. So one person has done it. So Robley, capture that section and post it and let me be sure that it worked. And you can imagine the importance this is. So you can load your data from a folder. Let me see Chibo, okay. Wow, 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 wow. So just imagine how important this is. Yes, you make sure the data comes in the right formats and you just upload the data into the folder and automatically we have it as part of the report. So if we have the report, this data will just feed the report. If we have the visualizations already, this data will just feed the visualizations automatically. That is something great. That is something great. Yes, that is something really, really great. All right. Okay, so let's see what is next. Let's see what is next. And now we are going to load data from an online table. Load data from an online table. So if you have not posted this one, let me see. Most of you have. Okay. All right. So with this challenge, we are going to, it says you are sourcing live statistical data from an online table to support a public health dashboard. So there's a website here. I'm going to share this URL with you. And with this particular website, what you have to do is to visit it and fetch the data, connect to the data through Power BI. So let me share this with you right now. Let me share this link with you. And I want you to open to this website address. And after you do, we will see how we can fetch it. So I'm going to paste in the chat. Okay, so I just shared it with you right now. So please click on the link in the chat and Yes, click on the link in the chat and you can open to that website. Let me open to it. Let me open to this website right now. And I can go to my browser. Let me go to my browser right here. And let me paste it here. Okay, so this is a website, and just as we did in web scraping, we can actually visit this website through Power BI, and we can have access to the data from a live website. So this is very, very important. You can connect to data sources from URL, from APIs, and you can feed it into Power BI. All right, so this is a website with this data, and let's keep the link. So with this, we are also going to use the web. So the steps here, home, get data, and you click on web, just like we've been doing. Then you paste it in, the navigator pane will open, and through the navigator pane, Power BI will auto detect all HTML tables on the page. Select the one that lists the countries and population statistics, and then you click on transform data. So let's see how that will work. So on this particular link, in Power BI, let me close this. We are done with this demonstration. Let me close it. Let me close it and open to Power BI again. Okay, so in Power BI, we can connect to the web, and then we paste the URL of the website. We click OK, and we have anonymous. Let's just click connect. Okay, so this is connecting, and we have the navigator again. All right, so that's fine. So these are the tables we have on the website. These are the various tables. So the first one says table one. The first one says table one, and I can see this table. So imagine this website has this table, and we've been able to get into the website, and we've been able to fetch the table from the website. Over here, we have HTML code. We don't need this. Display text, we don't need this. So this is full web scraping done with Power BI. Full web scraping done with Power BI. So we take table one and then we transform data. And this is how you can also connect to a website. If it has tables, the tables will be separated and you can fetch the tables and you can use it for your visualization. So what we are doing now is to experience how to connect to multiple data sources. This is important to let you get a practical view of how to connect to Excel files, how to connect to folders, how to connect to web URLs and fetch the data. This is exactly like web scraping that we did in Python. You can fetch the tables. You can also fetch any part of the code that you see. All right, so this is really wonderful, and we can go ahead, use it for our transformations, do our transformations, and use it for our visualization as well. All right, so this is done. This is done, and I have been able to load 223 rows, and I have it right here ready for action. All right, So this is just step 1 and a bit of step 2. We are not getting to step 3. We want to understand a few things in step 1 and step 2. And here are some important things we need to see and we need to get a feel of. Yes. In our capstone project, we'll be required to implement so many things. And so let's just go ahead and experience all of this. All right. So the next step, the next challenge, I think it is one of my favorites. And okay, so expert tips here says that this method is great for pulling real-time data from public sources like government websites, stock market pages, and Wikipedia tables. So this is wonderful. You saw how we're able to pull the table from the website. In one of our Python classes, we're able to do the same thing with pandas. We're able to connect to the URL and we're able to fetch the tables from the URL. Yes. All right. So this one is going to be interesting. I actually took the time to set up a server and I put the data on the server, and I want us to see how we can connect to a web server, and through MySQL database, we can connect to the data on a real web server. This is interesting. If you're able to do this, this means you can connect to a live website, and anytime you refresh, it can load the changes online into your Power BI, and this is really powerful. So your organization has a website, has a web application, there are a lot of data online, customer orders, a whole lot of things happening online in your database. You can connect to it. Yeah, so this is wonderful. And what I have done is to provide the credentials. So I'm going to share the credentials with you. And I want you to also connect to the server. All right. So I actually created this. And it says that you've been granted access to a MySQL database hosted on a web server. And one important thing to note here is that to connect to MySQL online, the server needs to give you permission to do that. And this particular permission can be assigned to you individually or personally or privately. This means that we can give permission to the computer you are using to connect to the server. Let me repeat that. To connect to a MySQL server, the server can grant permission to your IP address. This means it is your IP address that will get access to the server. The server can also grant permission to everyone. All right, so for a short time, I'm granting permission to everyone to connect to a real MySQL server so that we can connect to the data set in the database online on a real server. So to do that, your task is to connect Power BI to the remote database, retrieve live sales data, and build reports. Wow, this is interesting. So over here, if you can type these credentials, or let me post it in the chat for you. I think that's will be better. So let's try connecting to it. Let's try connecting to it. Let me just open to Notepad here. And what we can do now, the IP address is 143.95.146.221. So before class, I just set up this server for this demonstration. All right, so the password is this. Okay, so what I said was that in your cPanel, there is an application called Remote MySQL. So when you log into the cPanel, we have Remote MySQL. In Remote MySQL, first of all, let me share this with you, and I will go through Remote MySQL with you for you to see, because I like you to see things yourself. All right. So in Remote MySQL, that is where you grant the access, okay? And in Remote MySQL, that is where you can grant the access. This means that over there, you can decide who gets to connect to the server. This is not just working on the database. This is about giving access to the database. And this is different from what we already know. So let me see if I can just log into the server right now, and we will see this. And this is the server, the cPanel we are using right now. Okay, so now in this particular server, all those of you who have done your webmaster course, and again, if you've not done your webmaster course, you really need to do it, because you get to learn a whole lot of things that you'll use later on in your career. So over here, we have MySQL databases. This is where you set up your database. So you click on this, you can set up a database here. You can create a database user over here, give it a password, and very importantly, you need to remember how to grant permissions by adding a user to the database. So this is not teaching about this, because we did this in our webmaster course. Now, what I'm going to show you here is Remote MySQL. When you go to Remote MySQL, over here, this is where you give access to the database. All right, this is where you give access to the server. And to do that, what you need to do, is to enter the IP address of the person you are allowing. Okay, the person you are allowing. So if you go to what's my IP, is it .net.com? Okay, that website will show you your IP. All right. So whatever your IP is, you can type it here. Okay, this is not correct IP. All right. Then you can add a comment and add. What this means is that the user who uses the computer with this IP can connect to this MySQL. That's what it means. This is not the server's IP. This is the user who is being given access. Now, if you use this particular percent symbol, it means you are granting access to everyone. So if you want everyone to access it, you can just use this and add. All right, so this is important. Let's take note of that. All right, so with these details, let's go ahead and connect to MySQL. All right, so after get data, we look for MySQL. So let me open to Power BI now. Let me close this and start again. Let me open to Power BI. Okay, so let's get data from multiple sources. Once you go to get data, you look for MySQL. So with MySQL, you can type my, and you see MySQL database over here. So this is MySQL, and you know that for web applications and websites, most of them run MySQL. So with this, you can connect to a real MySQL server. So over here, you are asked to provide the server and the database name. Over here, if you know the IP address of the server, this is not the IP address of your computer. This is the IP address of your server. You can use this to connect to the server. And if you also have the domain name, you can also try using the domain name. So let me go ahead and connect. And if you're having issues, I'll help you. So I put the IP address of the server here. That is it. And then I'll put the database name. This is the name of the database. If you understand databases, you know that you can connect to the database name. And inside the database, we have a user who has been granted permission to the database. So there's a difference between the database name, the database user, and the user's password. In the root phase, we cover all of this. So please make sure you complete it. So over here, we have the database name, and I click OK. And let's see what happens. So it quickly moves to this particular window. And over here, you can see windows, you can see database. Let's click on database. And here we are going onto a real database. Now it is asking for the username and the password. Let me go ahead and provide it. So this is a username. And then password. If I typed it right, this is a password. Let me connect. And if everything is okay, it should connect to MySQL. This is really, really interesting. This is going online, connecting to a live server. This is amazing. So we have it here. We have the navigator showing, and the navigator is giving us 3 different tables. Wow. So on the server, we have 3 tables in the database. Remember, a database is made up of multiple tables. So one table is customer info, another table is others info, another table is product info. So I can select all of them and I can transform them. Once I click transform, this is amazing. I have all of them right here, all of them. And in the next class, we will experience working with multiple tables because we need to understand how to do data modeling. So it is loading all of them right from the server. This is so powerful. And I'm happy I took the time to set this one up. All right. Okay, so I see a post here that says that this connector requires 1 or more additional components to be installed before it can be used. All right, click on learn more, and it should take you to a website where you have to install some add-in or plugin on your machine. You need to install that. Just download it and you can do this. All right. So when we get to data modeling, we will be building relationships. And so we will be working with multiple tables. All right. So I want to see the first person who can get this done. Please click on learn more, download what is there, and connect, and let's see. I'm sure you have the credentials. I just shared it with you. So the first person to do this, please do it and post it in the chat right now, and then we will continue. So this will actually be the last data source we will experiment today. As we keep on working, we will experience other data sources. So the remainder of the time, we will do some quick transformations, and then we will end today's session. So let's explore this right now. This is very important for you to be able to do your main capstone project and for you to get real world experiences. Yes, we are going to do a very powerful, we are going to build a very powerful dashboard. And this particular dashboard will make sure that it is worthy to serve as a portfolio for you. So we want to make sure all that we need, we have them covered. So let's make sure that we have this done. So someone should connect to it. At least one person should connect to this. And let me see. Let me see who has done it. Unable to connect. All right, please get the credentials right. I shared it in the chat. Let me share it again. I just want to see one person do it. And when you click on learn more, you will see what to download. All right, so please click on MySQL database, not SQL Server. So there is a big difference between MySQL and SQL Server. Please click on MySQL database. Okay, when you go to get data, you see we have SQL Server here. That's not what we are talking about. We are not talking about SQL Server. Don't choose SQL Server. This is a different server. All right, go to more, and you can take time and look for it. You can click on database, take time and look for it. You can see it here, MySQL database. This is MySQL, so just do that. And we have several databases here. I can see SQL Server. You see, this is a different database. We have Access. You can even connect to Access. We have Oracle database. I like that. We have MySQL, Postgres here, and Amazon Redshift is here. Google BigQuery, Vertica, Snowflake. Wow. Athena. That's wonderful. So all these are data sources you will be working with one day. So use MySQL, and I want to see the first person who will be able to connect. Wow. Chibuke, are you telling me you've done it? What? Are you telling me you've connected? Chibuke, are you telling me that? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So this is really nice. This is really nice. I like this so much. This means we've connected to a live server. See how we can refresh. Wow. Wow. I can't wait to see you build a report connected to a live website or a live server that when you refresh, it updates. When you refresh, it updates. Wow. So whatever is happening on the web server can come into your reports live. That is something to take home tonight. This is something to take home tonight. So one person has done it. That means it's working. Let me see who else. Timothy, of course, has done it. Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. Let me see one or two others. One or two others. Wow. Okay. All right. This is beautiful. In our next class, we'll talk about relationships. I'll be happy if you can go to the model view and all right. So Chibuke is saying that after installing the connector, restart your Power BI. Thank you, Chibuke. Restart your Power BI and try connecting, and let's see. This is a live web server connection, and this is something great. I like it. Yes. So the only thing left is to build your amazing visualization. Yes, and we know that to build a visualization, we need to take the time and get data. So this is how to get the data. And we've gotten this data. Wow. Okay. Thank you. So take time and do it. Yes, take time and do it. Okay, so please click on database. Click on database, Richard, click on database and enter the credentials over there. At the left side, you see database. Click on it and enter the credentials. And it works. Others have done it, so I know it works. Yes, and Lucretia, when it is downloading, you may be asked to click on yes or enter your password if you need permission to install. And that pop-up may be hidden on your taskbar. If you don't see it, this screen will remain for a long time and you wouldn't know that you have to click on it. So check your taskbar and approve this if it requires that. If it does, then it will just run immediately. If you don't approve it, it will be there forever. So make sure you approve it and we can continue. All right, so let me check my PowerPoint and let's see where we are. Okay, so we've been able to do this, and an expert tip here says that connecting to a hosted MySQL server simulates enterprise level reporting systems. Wow, this is really good. Always ensure secure connections and access control via remote MySQL or VPN. All right. So if you have a server, make sure you grant access to the right person who should connect to the server. Okay. This particular server, I've taken all the measures I need to take to grant access to all of you in the class. After a while, it will be shut down, but make sure you grant access to the person who needs to connect to the server using what is called remote MySQL. So this remote MySQL, that is what I showed you. Enter the IP of the computer that should access it. Enter the IP of the computer that should access it, and that computer will be able to access it. All right. Okay, so we've covered a lot. Thank you all for the time. Thank you for going through this. And I want you all to get this experience. Make sure you practice it all. They are all building up to something wonderful. We are going to build a massive project. And so let this be the preparations or the foundations we need. Yes. So let's go through all that we've done. The video will be shared. If you missed anything, make sure you, if you missed anything, make sure you watch it and you understand it. And in the next class, we will continue. We are preparing for something wonderful. And very soon you are going to really appreciate so much completing this course well. And I want all of us to go through this as a team. Let's all go through this together. Don't be left behind, because we are demystifying Power BI. We are exploring Power BI. We are understanding Power BI now. So let's all go through it and let's all understand it. So we will end here and we will continue tomorrow. So thank you all, and I'll see you in the next class. Have a wonderful evening, and bye-bye to you.